Hi guys, it's Dan from Dan's Best Tech. Is the Surface Go 2 the best 2-in-1 of all time? Skip to this timestamp to see how this thing performs in real-world use, but for everyone else, stay tuned for the full review. In my previous videos, I discussed how I chose the upgraded $630 version with the Core M3, or $760 with the keyboard. Although that's pretty expensive and the Core M3 is pretty weak when compared to 12-inch 2-in-1s, the Surface Go 2 still outshines all other 10-inch alternatives like the Asus Transformer Mini, Chewy Hi10 X, Lenovo Yoga Book, and Samsung Galaxy Book 10.6. It's 8GB of RAM, 128GB of storage, 1.2-pound weight without the keyboard, and Geekbench 5 multi-core score of 1500 makes this tablet great. So if you want the most powerful 10-inch tablet that runs the full version of Windows, after you opt out of Windows 10s of course, then the Surface Go 2 is for you. No other tablet of this size has 8GB of RAM. Sure, you could spend a little more money and get a larger and heavier Surface Pro 7 or Surface Pro X, which both get a little more performance. How much more performance? Double. But those tablets weigh half a pound more. This tablet's smaller screen size and lesser weight places less of a moment on my wrist when I'm holding it for long periods of time. So now we have to talk about the keyboard. It's fine. Who said that keyboards need to be a certain size anyways? It's not too small at all. You just have to get used to it. But yeah, maybe go in and try it in a store first. Just to make sure you bring gloves or hand sanitizer if you're watching this video while we're still in a pandemic. Additionally, the keyboard cover costs only $130, which is pretty cheap when compared to Apple's $300 keyboard. The good news is that you won't have to enter a password every time you want to log in though, since this thing has Windows Hello Face Sign-In. And the webcam on this thing is better than any MacBook webcam as well. The 5-megapixel 1080p camera outshines any 720p camera on a MacBook. Now onto the ports. It includes a USB-C port and a micro SD XC card slot and a headphone jack, which is all you really need. Wait, it doesn't have USB Type-A? That said, it does have Microsoft's proprietary Surface Connect port for their docks and Wi-Fi 6 support for speeds faster than a gigabit per second. Regarding the battery life, I'm actually getting the claimed 10 hours, so the bigger battery over the original Surface Go really does help. Okay, enough of the typical review stuff. How does this thing really perform during real-world use? To me, I care about 4 different scenarios: consuming media by playing YouTube videos, drawing or editing photos, taking notes, and playing some light games. First, let's discuss how well this thing can play YouTube videos. In the Edge browser, it's possible to play videos, but you'll have to be patient. You'll need to wait for the web pages to load when you scroll down. You'll need to tap on the video multiple times to try and scroll through it. It just requires finesse. But yes, you can use this tablet to watch YouTube videos. Is it as smooth as an iPad? No, not even close. But this thing runs the full version of Windows. I could do anything I want on it. Besides, if I really wanted to scroll through the video, I can just use the trackpad on the keyboard cover, which is a much more fluid and easier experience to me than trying to use a Windows tablet with touch. Now on to drawing. I'm not the best at drawing straight lines, but I didn't know I was this bad. Okay, time to cheat with a ruler. Oh. I think drawing with jagged lines could be a style that you don't get on other tablets. The jagged lines give your drawings character. Or, as long as you draw really fast, you can get straight lines out of this thing. It just requires, again, finesse. So on YouTube videos, you need to keep things slow and expect to wait. And when drawing, if you don't want jaggies, you need to draw really quickly. As far as editing photos, I'm just going to go through all the sliders on this 12-megapixel photo I shot from my iPhone using Adobe Lightroom. Specifically, I'm editing my pregnant wife during one of her workouts. Everything seems to slide just fine, no complaints. Let me know in the comments if there's something else you'd like to see me try in Lightroom. Something I do a lot of is take notes. Microsoft's default Word app should work just fine and load up like a champ. The problem is that Microsoft wants to charge you $100 per year for the rest of your life to use it. So I'm 31, if I live to the average life expectancy of 78, then that's $4,700 to use Microsoft Word. Yeah, that's pretty expensive. Using the web-based version of Microsoft Word, on the other hand, is free and loads up eventually. It's fine, but I prefer to use Google Docs, which is free to use out of the box. Maybe there's a slight delay between the time you press a key and when the letter shows up on the screen, but again, it's all about finesse. And then there's finally gaming. With all the finesse I had to go to just get simple apps working, I wasn't expecting much out of this thing from a gaming perspective. So I only tested older and easier to run games. Games like Team Fortress 2, Rocket League, and Grand Theft Auto 5. What? It's an older game now. It's 5 years old. It should play just fine. So I attempted to run all games at 720p lowest settings. Team Fortress 2 typically ran between 20 and 40 FPS, but it sometimes dipped into the teens and even the single digits during high-intensity occasions. So it's playable, but you're not going to have the best of times. Rocket League again started in the 30s, but soon dropped into the teens with lots of stutter. And Grand Theft Auto 5 was too large to install on this 128GB SSD. So yeah, I wouldn't expect much out of this thing from a gaming perspective. And since it's fanless, it doesn't really hold its performance for very long either. I let the Unigine Heaven benchmark run twice at extreme settings. The FPS drops from a measly 5.8 to 4.0. So yeah, don't buy this guy for gaming. In conclusion, I think the Surface Go 2 is the best option with the highest performance for a Windows 10-inch 2-in-1 tablet hybrid. It's 8GB of RAM, expandable storage, great battery life, quiet keyboard, superb size and weight, excellent 1080p webcam with Windows Hello, and the ability to run full Windows apps like Microsoft and Adobe Suite causes this laptop to be truly in a class of its own. Sure, it has a cramped keyboard, it only has 128GB of internal storage, it's missing some key ports like USB Type-A, it costs almost as much as the Surface Pro 7, the touch experience isn't that great when trying to browse the web and watch YouTube videos, the stylus can't draw straight lines very well, and the gaming experience is non-existent even with older games. But it's still better than any other 10-inch Windows tablet. But what do you guys think? Would you spend $740 on the Surface Go 2? And let me know in the comments what you'd like to see me test next. And finally, hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel out, and I'll catch you in the next one.